Hi, everyone. It's Nia Claire. I am super excited to say hi to you and to connect with you about the October 23rd Light Up event that is coming up very quickly. And today I have the great pleasure of hanging out with my dear friend Barb DeMers, who is going to be our guest, our featured guest for the event. And today we're going to get to know about her. We're going to learn a little bit more about the event and answer your questions. So, if you're listening, if you're on with us, just know that you can put your questions in the comments and definitely say hi to us so we can say hi back. Our goal is to let you get to know a little bit about, or let you get to know a little bit about Barb and find out a little bit more about the event. So, Barb, I am so deeply honored to have you here and to share with us about who you are and your journey and what you're going to be offering at the event. Just so everybody knows, Barb is a healing touch practitioner, and she is an intuitive energy therapist. And that is not even everything. The room that she's in is like the magic room. The magic room. That's what I call it because magic happens there. So, Barb, welcome.
Thank you, Nia. I appreciate it. Appreciate being here this afternoon with you. And yeah.
Well, good. Well, we're gonna dive right in and just have some fun. If you're on with us, say hi. Make sure to put your name in the comments because sometimes we can't tell who it is and we want to say hi. So definitely let us know if you're on and watching with us. We have a nice crowd on, and so Barb,
Yes.
tell us a little bit about you and who you are and what you're up to in the world.
Well, I have been studying several modalities, still studying all energy medicine things, probably since about 1999. I started in healing touch. I became a certified healing touch practitioner. I studied chronic healing. I've studied some qigong. Um, I'm just kind of a ferocious student.
It's true.
Akashic record readings. I've studied tarot and numerology. Um, but energy is really where it's kind of all at for me. I've been doing some teaching and mentoring with organization called Awakening Healing Access over the last few years. I've studied and been traveling and doing some stuff with that, and that's been a really profound growth experience for me. A place that kind of pushed all the boundaries and edges.
Yeah, you've been doing that for what, 2 years now for sure, that you've been at that, like, going and visiting and traveling?
Yes, I've been with them since the beginning. I've taken all of their workshops, and just in the last probably 2 years or 3 years, gosh, where does time go?
I know.
I've been
COVID.
doing some
That's right.
teaching with them. So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's really been a fun process because it's very collaborative. There's like, God, is there 6 or 7 of us that all collaborate together and are learning? And so when somebody brings something forward, we each take it and we start working with it, and it's really, like I said, it's really pushed my boundaries into opening up and learning about things that yeah, exploring and being curious and learning about things that are coming up and are new and interesting.
Yeah. Well, I will say as your friend, I benefit from all of your curiosity and your tenacious learning and insatiable hunger for taking in information. I can't even tell you how many times you and I are having a conversation and you pull in something I had no idea about. I had like, and I didn't I didn't have an awareness of it or knowing. And we have Nikki on, Caitlin, Brianna, Honey, and Tommy. They're all joining you, and I know that every one of these people knows exactly what I'm talking about. Where Barb just lays down something, and you're like, "What? That is it," or connecting dots in a way that I never would have connected those modalities or thought about things. And I think that's your superpower, Barb, is your ability to keep things fresh, keep things, connect. I don't know. You can connect on a whole other level. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, I think that's probably what I find the most curious is that everything is connected in some way or another. It all fits together like this beautiful puzzle piece. But the interesting thing is that for many of us, or for everybody, all the puzzle pieces fit different. So they all
Yeah.
look a little bit different. So we're not all seeing the same picture because of whatever life experience we're walking. So that's what I find so it's fascinating to me, how to make these connections and how everything fits.
Yeah. And it's fun. It's like every class, I love being in classes with you, and all of a sudden you get the look on your face like, I know what's about to happen. And I'm like, I don't know what you're going to say, but I know it's going to be interesting. And that'll like, does that go that way? Or what about this? And it expands the awareness of everyone. And so when this event came up, you and I had done some work. You had helped me with something. I was just, I don't even know what to say I was. I would say I was off kilter. Maybe that's a really good way to put it, because nothing made sense. And hi, Gail. Hi, Darcy. I'm glad you're on. Hi, everybody who's joining us. If you have questions for Barb, you can post those in the comment. We'll make sure to post those. But about, I want to say it was a little over a month ago, you said, come on down, come on down. And, and I did. And there was this experience that was so expansive for me as you're working on me. And you said, I think we need to connect you to your 10th chakra. And I was like, oh, okay. I never questioned. Like, I'm like, right, whatever you say. Did I go, hey, can you tell me about that 10th chakra thing first? No, I just go, Barb, she knows what she's talking about. I've never been led astray with you. And when I thought about this month, there was something in what we had done and something in the conversations around the 10th chakra that just seemed to really resonate. And so I'd love for people to hear what you're going to be sharing with us. And it's not just about the 10th chakra, but what you're going to help us experience at the upcoming Light Up event as our special guest.
Well, I will walk everybody through an experience, and probably a little bit different than maybe the past two events where we've done like a meditation, or like Annette said, a visualization. I want to walk people through more of a kinesthetic experience, meaning we will have our eyes, keep your eyes open, because I really think the important thing, especially about the 10th chakra, is it is really about being present in this space and time that of the now that we're in. And so, and to be able to get to that place in any given moment, in those moments of overwhelm, in those moments of scatter, where we feel scattered. And I think that that's how a lot of people are right now. People feel grounded, and they keep trying to ground when you really, I don't want to say you can't ground, but you can ground much more thoroughly being connected at the 10th, and with the core of the earth too.
Oh, I just had something come through in what you're saying, Barb, that I didn't quite see it that way before. And just as you're talking, it like hit me, because the Light Up event, the tagline is, let's navigate the now together. Right. And part of what I've been experiencing, and you and I've talked about this, we've talked about this, is that we haven't, like, to take what we've done and to try and predict, it really takes us out of the experience of what is emerging. And what you just said about grounding, like, we're trying to ground into something solid. But when you talk about the core of the earth, it's not necessarily solid. It's very fluid, and it's very, it's moving in this way. So if we're trying to be so solid, to be in that knowing, in that, fixed place, we're actually hindering what we're capable of doing. That's or experiencing or knowing in
Right.
that inner night. That's what just hit me. I don't know if that's what you're saying, but
Yes. Yes, and
okay.
we talk about the core of the earth, but really the earth is connected to a much bigger matrix, right?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times as we start this spiritual journey, or we're on this journey, especially in the beginning, we all want to be up in these upper chakras. We want to get, we want to be connected to the divine, to the oneness, right? Well, we can't be if we're not grounded on this earth, because this earth plane is also connected to the oneness. And so that's where the tenth chakra really comes in, as an importance. It almost, when you are connected at the 10th, it brings down the energy of all those other upper chakras and connects it so that you can live that in this
Love.
space and time. So
I
it's
get that's powerful. That just what I can visually see, like as you're talking, it's like I can see what you're saying. So I'm going to ask a really, like for those of you, maybe I'm the only one going to ask this, but I know about the 7 chakras,
right,
right? So now we're talking about the 10th and we kind of bypass the 8th and 9th.
right.
And then how many are there in this matrix that you're talking about? Like, 4,287,127, or is there
Yeah,
something?
probably, because there's a lot, there are a lot of little, I can't even think of the word right now that they're called, but really I work mostly with 12, with the
Okay,
12 chakras.
great.
So you talked about the eighth and we skipped the eighth and the ninth and the 10th and the 11th and the 12th.
Yeah,
Well, we did skip the 10th, that's what we're working on. But the
yeah,
ninth is another one that's really important. The ninth chakra is the one that is, uh, connects us to our soul's purpose here
yeah,
on Earth. Oh, right. So everybody talks about their purpose. Isn't that one of the big questions when people start on this journey? Like, what's my purpose here? Why
yeah,
am I here? What am I doing here? We all want that greater purpose, right? To really
yeah.
contribute something to, our own lives and to the whole consciousness, right? Higher consciousness.
Yes,
So bringing that forth and anchoring that into our experience on this earth,
yeah,
right? And that's the other great thing about bringing it down and anchoring it into this earth plane of why we're here, into
yeah,
the so yeah, it's pretty powerful work.
yeah. I will tell you, it was a powerful experience for me. And I've noticed since our session, there's been a real difference in, well, I've been experiencing a shift in channeling for the last several months. And I've had a very hard time coming back into my physical body, which has never happened. Never happened. Like it's always like boom, boom, out, boom, in. Like very easy. I've had it where it'll take me almost an hour to come back into my body, to integrate everything back in. That I'm back, I'm functioning, I'm doing things, I'm having a conversation, but that feeling of wholeness or that feeling of nearness, it takes longer. And since we worked, I've noticed that has it's a much more fluid integration again. I feel like I'm much more in balance, um, and much more. It feels more familiar, but still more expanded. So I feel like I'm doing more. Like I'm expanded more, but I'm also able to acclimate to that. So,
And I think
thank you.
the more grounded we are into our 10th, the more, our intuition, our abilities are really shine and are able to come forth, because it really does bring us now into that present moment of now. And I do remember, I the little visual I got when I started working with you, when I knew that I really wanted to work with you on your 10th, when you were talking about how it was getting to be more of a challenge to come back in
Yeah,
your body. And for me, I literally saw like the roots of a tree that had been like shaken, and the the dirt, the earth had been shaken away from the roots. And
yeah,
so kind of wobbly, if you will.
Yeah.
So that was the visual that I got. So really getting you back into that space and making that connection, and bringing that energy of the 10th up through all the rest of the chakras is really important as well.
100%. And I think, I'm continuously reminded right now that the way we've done things is like what has got us to this experience, what has gotten us to here isn't necessarily, it's not that it has to be thrown away, it's that it's different, and we have to be willing to open and learn and expand, and almost sometimes even break down our preconceived ideas of how things work. Like I've channeled for how many years? No issues. Just fine. All good. I wouldn't even call this an issue. I would just call it different. And then to be open and ready for something new to emerge, and to hear your experience. I think this is where we kind of get into that level of collaboration, that level of knowing, that level of connection that we can't, I've said it, I feel like a broken record, but really we can't do it alone anymore. We need to have each other to see things, to understand things, to I need to tap into your wisdom, to your knowing, to your experience of the same thing that I'm experiencing, but you're seeing it or understanding it through a different lens. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Just like what I said about the puzzle piece. It's just like we all are offering those pieces, but we're all seeing a little different picture because of, whatever experience it is that we're going through. And I think when you talked about the change and things that have changed, I think we can all look back and say, not a whole lot is the same as it was
right
a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. We're constantly in flux. Thank goodness, right?
Yeah.
Change, everybody says that they don't like change. Nobody likes change, right?
Right.
But yet nobody likes status quo either.
That's right.
So that always kind of, makes me wonder, you don't like the things the way they are right now, but you don't like change either. Well, you got to make a decision. And I think that the whole consciousness of the planet is changing and shifting. And so, everything.
Yeah.
So then we have the collaboration piece, I think, is very, very huge.
Yeah.
There is no one expert.
No. Gosh, wouldn't that be nice? I think, well, again, like each one of us has wisdom, but who cares if we're not sharing it, right? I mean, honestly, if we're not in the marketplace, and I don't mean like, that's the wrong way to put it. If we're not in the community square, talking and conversing and connecting in authentic ways, just like we're having this conversation. We don't know, Barb and I don't always agree on everything. Most of the time we do, but like we don't always agree. Right. And sometimes we push each other's buttons, and sometimes we push each other to think differently and expand. And that, I think, is, we need to be able to have those kind of environments where we're willing to do that. And so in a way, like that 10th chakra work, I think helps with that. Helps, I don't even want to use the word deepen, but it makes, instead of rooting to solidity or certainty, it's like rooting to the flow, the divine flow of things. That's my words on kind of what I'm like experiencing in my body as we're talking about this.
And when you really get comfortable there, you're rooting your lineage, your ancestral lineage. And you're rooting into all of the past, present, and future lives. If you want to look at it very linearly.
Linearly. I know what you're saying. We have another R in there, right?
That one's a hard one. That's where, when you really tap into that, you can pull forth your wisdom
Yeah.
your soul's wisdom. So, and that is like, that's huge. We all
Yeah.
have that,
I
and
love
there's
that.
been so much talk even over the past, 3, 4 years about people doing ancestral healing.
Yep. Lots.
Yes, this is where it
Yeah.
needs to be done.
I love that. And I love that you're inviting us to experience this, Barb. That's what a gift. I mean, if you're listening to this and not feeling like compelled to be there, I hope it's waking. So it is for me. Like I'm all in on this. Emily had a question, and she's talking about meditating. And I think this is good because, Barb, I know you do this. She says she wants to start meditating, but finds it hard to quiet her mind most times. What do you think is a good first step on that? What have
Mm,
you experienced?
I I I totally get that because boy, that mind chatter is really something, isn't it? I find in my thought on meditating is that really meditation is anything that takes you where you lose track of space and time.
Mm,
And to be honest with you, like one of my favorite ways of meditating is putting on my favorite um, dance music
mhm.
and dancing and singing and yeah, and yeah, I've been known to be dancing around my house, but I will lose space of track of time and
Yeah,
space, and I'm in so present in the moment. That's what meditation is.
yeah,
It's letting go of the mind. And
yeah.
so it doesn't have to be always in that quiet space. And if you do want to be in the quiet, because for many of us, life gets to be so noisy all the time, right? There's just
Yep.
always, stuff all over.
Yes.
Really focusing on the breath, and
Yep.
if a thought comes in, just notice it. Say, yep, you're right. I need to get that at the grocery store and swipe right. Just
Swipe right.
let it go, and folks start, just go back to focusing on the breath again.
I
Um,
love that.
but don't, I think sometimes we try so hard and say, I can't do it, and we give up. But the more that you do it,
Yep.
the more that, you take time and I want to say, put the effort in, put the time in,
Yep.
it comes.
I 100% agree with everything you say. I tried for years to do meditation, and do you think I would feel two things. One is when things would get too quiet, is some of you might be able, you're probably all going to just laugh and go, of course, this would be hard for you, Nia, because right? Because that's happening in here too. So when it gets really quiet, it's almost like I got agoraphobic. I get like it was too spacious, and it created almost a panic in me. So what I did is I didn't dance, but I listened to chanting. I listened to that, and so it gave me something to do so that I could quiet the mental chatter. And then I started chanting. That helped me. And then I could be in the breath. I needed something to say, "Oh, it's okay. You can do this." To get to it was almost like training wheels for being able to be quiet with my breath, with my own self. So
Right.
I think about it's just foreign now, but it took a really long time.
And I think that chanting is so melodical. It's just like you just
Yes.
get into this. It has such a nice rhythm to it. And it was funny because before you started saying that, I started thinking there's a song that I love to meditate to because it has that kind of rhythm to it that just kind of keeps me in the present moment and in the now.
I love it. I agree. I think music is that takes me somewhere else. So I love it. This is so good. See, and I mean, how many of us, well, especially in the 80s, those of us that grew up in the 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s, what happened is again, not to go on a, you know, focus there, but really you're coming out of the Piscean age, which is very much you're looking for somebody else to tell you the right way to do things. So we were looking for gurus, we were looking for these, and those of us that were born in the 60s and 70s and 80s, really what you're looking at is this awakening, the beginning of that wave into Aquarian going, this isn't working for me. something. I want to do something different, and still having to kind of struggle with that. So now there are so many ways to be able to do this. And that's the pieces of the puzzle, right? There's no one right way. There are many ways. And take what you like, keep an open mind. I don't say leave the rest anymore. I say take what you like, keep an open mind, and keep trying. Right? You never know. There was a point in my life I didn't like spinach, and now I love it. Things change. So.
And they do. And ideas that come up. I mean, there's been some ideas where you learn something, you're like, you have no place to put it. It's like, that doesn't even make sense. I don't understand it at all. And all of a sudden, it just kind of flows back, and you're like, aha, like now I get it. That was something I was taught 5 years ago or learned 5 years ago, and all of a sudden it kind of comes forward again, and now you have a place to put it. So yes, you can't, what do they say, throw the baby out with the bathwater,
right?
So keep it all, because you never know when it's going to come back, and it's going to make it's going to make sense. It's going to have clarity for you at that time.
Yeah. And just what's really interesting, this coming full circle, because you're talking a little bit about generational healing.
Yes.
That in and of itself, keeping an open mind, being nimble in your thinking, being nimble in your learning, willing to keep trying and checking in with yourself, is actually in and of itself breaking that generational pattern of carrying things forward just because that's what we do. And so there's this piece of, the more you know yourself. I'm seeing I'm loving this. Like we're going to have you back and do even more. We haven't even done it. And I'm so excited. But there's this piece around, the more you know yourself, you said that, the more you practice working in this 10th chakra, connecting with it, feeling it, the more you come to know yourself. And it's what I'm getting is it's yourself without all of the baggage of the past, without all of the story wrapped around it, right? Is that what you're saying?
Well, yes. The baggage and the story, though, are beautiful, and they're to be honored and to be respected, and to be like, they're just a gift. They're such a gift. Sometimes it's hard to look at it that way, but it is.
It certainly got us here, didn't it?
Right. It's the brick and the temple that you are. Each one of those incidences are this, beautiful piece of brick or stone that are in this temple that is you.
Oh, Barb, like we could talk. This is what I love. We could talk for days. Yeah. You are one of the most beautiful, bright souls I know. I love getting a chance to hear you talk. I love the way that you are, you lead with your heart, and it comes through. And I just love that. And it softens me, when we talk, and I love that. So thank you for that gift today. And for everyone who joined us, if you have questions, you can continue to post them. We'll check on them throughout the day. We're wrapping up here, but if you have not gotten your tickets or you haven't been to the Light Up, I want to invite you. Barb's been to 2. She said yes. She was one of the first people, and I said, I think I want to do this. And she said, yeah. I was like, oh, okay, well then we'll do it. So
yes,
yeah,
and they've been wonderful, and they're different. They've both been so different, but both so wonderful. I'm so inspired by people's questions when you're channeling. God, there's really good questions. That's been fun.
Yeah. And it's you never know what's going to happen, and the experiences that I hear about in these little comments afterwards, it's like the connections people are having, it's just expansive. And I think we need to find those, there's an opportunity here for us to listen to that part of us that really wants to connect. And so if you're feeling called to it, come, you get to hear Barb. I can't wait. And then tickets right there, Yes Word Coaching Light Up. I'll put the link in the comments, so you can just link to it. Tickets are $20, and it's October 23rd. And Barb, thank you so much for sharing so much of yourself with us today. I love you. I honor you. I bless you. Thank you. You guys have a great day. And if you have more questions for Barb, just put them in the comments and we will route those to her.
Yep. Great.
Thanks.
See you all on the 23rd.
Yay.
Bye-bye.